Leadership is a position that requires you to manage people, situations, and items effectively and ethically. Leaders should be someone who can influence others using their abilities, influence, and titles to help a project or company progress. If leaders are human beings, therefore any mortal with their required qualities could lead. Therefore, leadership is not a question of sex, but the content of individuals. By the aforementioned, leaders could be men or women. In other words, leadership qualities could be found in a woman or a man. There is an adage that says what a man can do, a woman can do better. Why then can't women lead? The question now is, why is it that we have more men leading in some facets of life, especially in this part of the world? The answer may not be far-fetched. It could be religious, traditional, or belief that hitherto relegated women if only men occupy key positions. This therefore brings the issue of gender balance to the table. Over the years, we hear women telling men to give them a chance. The question is, are women eager to occupy vital positions? Occupying leadership position comes in different forms, based on professional and individual fields of study. Journalism, our constituency. Female journalists, are we there at all? In the newsroom and even in the media as a whole. Even outside the media, one wonders why all the SSA or SA media to politicians are men when we have able female journalists. It is even worrisome when female political office holders will only appoint men as their SSA or SA media and communications. How then do we expect the men to accord the female the respect and give the required quota when we women have refused to recognize ourselves? It is a case of women not blowing their own trumpets. Thanks to Nigerian Association of Women Journalists that is bringing female professionals to limelight. I say, kudos to her practicing and veteran journalists, the likes of Aisha Falode, Funke Egbemode, Abike Dabiri Erewa, Bimbo Oloyede, Josephine Shukuma, Eugenia Abu, Abiodun Olujimi, Oluremi Hoyo, Mojisola Makanjuola, Bola Tito Joseph, Ruth Benemisia, Ronke Kolawole, Ronke Okusanya, Ronke Ayuba, Yomi Oshuntokun. These are voices to behold and voices to listen to in those days.
Yes, my name is Abike Dabiri Erewa. The so-called mystery guest, not so mysterious. Well, for me, I've worked here for 15 years of my life, and incidentally, I'm here 15 years after I retired from the service of the NTA to be a guest presenter.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Ronke Kolawole.
A very good evening to you and welcome to NTA Network News, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ruth Benamesia.
We have done things in the past. We tried to educate people, arrest people on the streets, and taking them to centers where we force them to watch documentaries.
No. The fact is that English is, shall I describe it as a world language? It's a global language. And for me, I think everybody who speaks it, actually, and who speaks it well, should be proud. Should be proud of it because, as you have said, I think we can all claim some degree of ownership of the language.
Abike Dabiri Erewa, before venturing into politics, had journalism background, having worked with the Nigerian Television Authority for 15 years. She anchored weekly NTA Newsline program. Being a politician, Abike Dabiri sponsored Freedom of Information Bill, a bill to repeal Nigerian Press Council Bill and replace it with the Nigerian Press and Journalism Council Bill. All her energy was geared towards promoting responsible journalism and welfare of journalists in Nigeria. Abiodun Olujimi also has journalism background before she became a politician. As a senator, Olujimi has sponsored several bills on gender issues. One of the bills is Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill 2019. Moji Makanjuola is one of the Nigerian journalists who has contributed significantly to to the improvement and development of journalism in Nigeria. She rose to the position of head of health and gender desk before retirement. She was also the head of the presentation and reportorial unit of NTA between 1980 and 1985. Oluremi Hoyo, former senior special assistant, media and publicity to President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2003. She was not a member of any gender-based journalism organization, but was of the view that one's professional actions and conduct will speak for the person, regardless of whether the person is a male or female. Mrs. Bola Tito Joseph, a former general manager of Progress FM Ado Ekiti, Gold FM Ilesha, Osun, is the director of programs of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria (FRCN) Southwest. She was introduced to journalism by her spouse as she read network news for 16 years. Through hard work, Mrs. Bola Tito Joseph won for herself managerial position at grade level 12, a position of grade level 15 to 16. She is of the belief that what a man can do, a woman can do better. Yomi Oshutokun, a former director of News and Current Affairs, Broadcasting Service of Ekiti State, former chairperson, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, is a dynamic woman who uses her position to promote gender equality and stands out among her peers. Oloyede is a veteran Nigerian journalist, a broadcaster par excellence, an eloquent speaker, and a motivator. She has been a broadcast professional for over 4 decades, dedicating about 20 years to training broadcasters, executives, and diplomats. Awa Baba Ahmed is a former news anchor on NTA. He is one of the most respected veteran journalists in the media. Eugenia Abu is a Nigerian broadcast journalist, writer, poet, and media consultant, best known as a former news anchor. Mrs. Seminitari Ibim is an award-winning investigative journalist and was the first Nigerian female journalist to win the CNN African Journalist of the Year in 1997. Josephine Shikuma is a former journalist with the Democrat newspaper. She is currently an executive director, Project Alert on Violence Against Women. She is a renowned human rights activist whose effort towards breaking women from shackles of maltreatment cannot be overemphasized. The list of these fantastic female journalists are endless, yet female journalists are not enough when key positions are mentioned in the newsroom and in the media. Female journalists, are we ready to take the bull by the horn, or are we waiting to be pushed before we occupy the necessary position? The time is now, as occupying leadership position is a panacea to solving gender inequality. The issue of gentlemen of the press is a subject of discourse for another time.